Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here again to really dig into the sources you've shared and pull out the key insights.
That's the plan.
Today, we're tackling something. Well, it might feel a bit sensitive for those of us really passionate about languages.
Yeah, a delicate topic, maybe.
Exactly. But it's important, I think, for anyone really on this language learning journey.
Agreed.
This isn't about, pointing fingers or exposing anyone. It's more of an honest look, a reflection on something we've kind of seen happening a lot.
Yeah, it's about looking at the bigger picture, the trends, especially in the online language learning world.
Right. Understanding the dynamics without necessarily naming names, but just seeing how it affects how we all think about learning languages.
Precisely. What shapes our view of mastery and the paths we take to get there.
So what we're calling this, the thing we're really going to unpack, is the Polyglot Plateau.
Okay.
We're looking specifically at people who, back then achieved amazing things linguistically, really impressive stuff.
People who genuinely mastered multiple languages to a high level.
Yes. They seemed unstoppable. But then it seems like they just stopped adding new languages to their list.
And it's important to remember how inspiring they were initially. They showed real skill, dedication, sometimes really new ways of learning.
Absolutely. We have to start there. Before we get into the plateau part, let's genuinely appreciate the success stories.
For sure.
So many people in the online language space have built careers. They're earning money, honestly, sharing what they know, making great resources.
And helping loads of learners along the way.
Totally. We admire that. Their initial language achievements,
Yeah.
incredible. Still are. Learning multiple languages to fluency takes huge effort, huge curiosity.
Massive intellectual effort, yeah. And then turning that into a business, building platforms, communities, that's entrepreneurial skill right there. Commendable stuff.
They really did open doors for a lot of people.
And that's a key distinction, isn't it? Building a platform, making courses, that's a different skill set than the actual ongoing process of learning a new language from scratch.
Right. The inspiration they gave early on, showing what could be done, that was huge for the field.
Transformative, really.
Okay, so we've acknowledged that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Here's the big question for today's deep dive.
Lay it on us.
Why have so many of these celebrated polyglots, the ones who seemed like linguistic superheroes, seemingly just stopped learning new languages? We want to explore this without judgment, just curiosity about how the language learning journey itself changes over time.
And it's not just about them as individuals, right?
Yeah.
It tells us something about the whole online language learning ecosystem.
Exactly. What values are being promoted? How do those maybe shift?
Okay, let's dive in.
Right. Let's set the scene. Think back to, say, 2010 to 2019. We're calling it the golden era for online polyglots.
Yes, I remember that time well. Very vibrant.
Wasn't it such an optimistic time if you were wanting to learn a language?
It really was a shift. Before that, language learning often felt more academic, stuck in textbooks.
Yeah, or classrooms. But the internet just blew that open. Suddenly, individuals could share their own experiences, their methods, directly with everyone.
A real democratization of learning, you could say. A paradigm shift.
Totally. The whole online space was just buzzing. You had all these motivational videos popping up everywhere.
People talking right to the camera, super enthusiastic, making you feel like you could do it too.
And blogs. So many blogs sharing personal tips, hacks, progress reports.
And the challenges, remember those? The flashy ones?
Oh yeah. Learn Italian in 3 months. Get conversational in 90 days.
They were everywhere. Very bold promises, capturing everyone's imagination.
And alongside that, language conferences started taking off, getting bigger.
Bringing these online figures together, creating this sense of a real global community.
Yeah, they weren't small meetups anymore. Big events. Thousands of people, online and offline.
It built this powerful feeling that language learning wasn't just for academics and dusty libraries. It was exciting, achievable.
Made the impossible feel possible for regular people. And the promises back then. Wow, so bold. Like, learn any language in months.
Months. That specific timeline was key. Very appealing.
Conversational fluency guaranteed. Or that classic, from zero to hero in 90 days.
Almost like a superpower you could just acquire.
Yeah, and these weren't just empty words. They really hit home for people wanting to learn. Created this huge wave of excitement. If they did it, maybe I can too.
It tapped into that desire for quick self-improvement, didn't it? Framed language learning as this accessible skill, bypassing the perceived difficulty.
Made complex things sound simple and fast, empowering in a way.
Very much so.
But here's the thing, and this is important. Many of these figures really were impressive. They weren't just talk.
No, they demonstrated genuine skill.
You saw them speaking 6, 7, even 8 languages, fluently, having real conversations.
Navigating complex topics with native speakers.
And let's be clear, achieving that, it's genuinely incredible. Still is. Inspiring stuff.
It takes phenomenal dedication, mental flexibility, real talent across different language systems. That early proof was powerful.
That level of fluency in so many languages, it's a testament to immense effort, discipline, and often really smart learning strategies.
Absolutely. That foundational success, the hard work, the passion, that's undeniable.
Okay, but now we get to the slightly unsettling part. The reason we're doing this deep dive.
The plateau.
Exactly. Fast forward 10 years from that golden era. Boom. What do we see now, largely?
Well,
Many of those same famous polyglots. The ones who inspired us back then. They're still speaking the exact same 7 or 8 languages.
and this is where it becomes really noticeable. It's not about doubting their current fluency that's still impressive.
Right.
The observation is about the lack of continued new language learning. The journey seems to have paused.
Precisely. No visible growth in adding new languages.
We don't see them publicly tackling, say, language number 9 or 10 with the same fervor.
No new public experiments, where they're really wrestling with a new language from scratch, showing the messy parts.
Right, the vulnerability of being a beginner again.
Instead, what you often see are, well, polished versions of the same promises from 10 years ago.
Often repackaged.
Yeah, repackaged and presented, kind of ironically, in the 15 languages they already speak.
Which points to a shift in focus, doesn't it, from acquiring to packaging?
Exactly. Replication, distribution, monetization, rather than new personal learning, pushing their own boundaries.
That redirection of energy is key. The passion that went into learning seems to have shifted into marketing the past learning.
It's a pivot
Mm-hmm.
from active learner to content creator based on past glories.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see that, you have to ask, isn't that a bit strange?
Curious, at least.
Yeah, curious. For someone who's actively teaching others how to learn any language in months.
Or get fluent in 90 days.
Right. If you're the architect of that idea, that method, wouldn't you expect them to be constantly showing it still works on themselves?
It feels like a reasonable expectation. The guide should still be walking the path,
It raises that question about consistency, doesn't it, between the message and the messenger's own journey.
If the promise is rapid, repeatable success, you'd expect to see that reflected ongoingly in the creator's life. When that fades, well, questions arise.
Let's dig into that contradiction more. Those audacious promises we mentioned.
Any language, fast, without grammar, without stress.
Yes, presented almost like a magic trick, a secret key to bypass all the hard work.
Which, of course, simplifies a very complex process, but it's appealing. Ease and speed are always attractive.
Definitely. Now, again, let's be super clear here. This isn't about the act of selling courses.
No, creating educational content can be incredibly valuable. That's not the issue.
The issue, the real dissonance, happens when the person selling the method, the guru, seems to have stopped using it themselves for their own learning.
It's like that chef analogy you used earlier. Selling the recipe but not cooking the dish anymore. The expertise feels historical.
Exactly. Not current, not practiced.
There's this unspoken assumption, isn't there? That the inventor of a great method would be its best, most continuous user.
Right. Their own journey validates the method.
So when that journey stalls, the link between the method's credibility and the creator's actions starts to weaken. You wonder why they stopped, if it's so good.
Think about it from the learner's point of view. If a method truly works like magic, teaches anyone a language in months.
Shouldn't the creator be the ultimate living proof?
Yes. Shouldn't they be picking up new languages constantly just to show it works again and again?
It's like the marathon coach who claims revolutionary techniques but hasn't run a race in years. They can still teach theory, maybe.
But the lived experience, the proof of concept on themselves, is missing.
And it clashes with the image, right? Often these figures carefully cultivate this image of effortless, perpetual progress.
Yeah, they might still travel, post great photos from exotic places.
Looking successful and worldly.
But the key question is, where's the linguist in progress? Are new languages actually being learned?
Or are existing ones being pushed to much higher, more nuanced levels? That also requires deep, ongoing work.
And often, that specific measurable language growth just isn't visible anymore.
Which brings us right back to that sharp question.
The marketing versus method dilemma.
If it's that easy, if your method is so game-changing.
Why didn't you learn a new language in the last 10 years? A whole decade.
It highlights a really stark gap, doesn't it, between the advertised ease and the observed personal stagnation.
It's puzzling.
And it's a critical point for anyone thinking of buying in if the creator isn't actively demonstrating its power on themselves anymore.
It forces you to ask, is this method truly effective for rapid, repeatable learning?
Yeah.
Or is it mainly just really good marketing?
Appealing to our dreams without the ongoing personal proof from the source?
And that question, is it working or is it just marketing? That really pushes you, the listener, to look critically.
To weigh the claims against the evidence of the creator's own path makes you think about the sincerity of it all.
So let's talk about that shift we mentioned. Over the last decade, you can almost feel this change in the online polyglot world.
An evolution of identity, maybe? A shift in focus.
Yeah, like watching a professional transformation,
Yeah.
moving away from the original core thing.
It happens in many fields, right? Passion projects become businesses.
And businesses have different demands.
Exactly. What starts as love for the subject can shift towards scaling, marketing, managing. The priorities change.
And we've seen that shift from people who seem like pure linguists, just loving the study of languages.
To influencers focused on audience, brand.
And maybe from enseinistas, actual teachers focused on how people learn.
To vendedors,
Yeah.
sellers, where the product becomes the main thing.
Yeah. It suggests a change in the main motivation, what they spend their days doing, less about the messy learning process.
And more about the polished platform and what it sells.
No, this isn't automatically bad. Good teachers can be influencers. Good products get sold.
True. The key is where the core energy is going. Is it still connected to the active pursuit of the subject matter?
Right. When the focus drifts entirely away from actually learning new languages, that's when it starts to feel off, inconsistent.
You see it in the projects they take on, too.
Yeah. The main projects seem to move away from language learning itself.
Less of my 90-day Russian challenge.
And more building your personal brand, or my investment strategies, or become a life coach.
Things often completely outside language acquisition or even teaching languages.
And look, it's totally okay for people to change careers, pursue new interests. People evolve.
Absolutely. Life changes, interests change. That's normal.
But the question becomes,
Yeah.
why keep selling the polyglot dream?
If your own path has diverged so clearly.
Exactly. It creates this inconsistency. Persisting in selling that idea of rapid, ongoing language expansion when your own focus is demonstrably elsewhere.
It causes a kind of cognitive dissonance for the learner looking up to them.
And this is where that red flag comes up, isn't
It
it?
really does stand out.
If you built a method, maybe you worked with others, launched courses in 15 languages you already knew.
You have the knowledge, the tools, the platform, the motivation of a business built around it.
And still, you didn't manage to learn even one new language in 10 years.
That's a big red flag. It says something about the method's practical application, even for its creator, over the long haul.
A huge red flag.
Yeah.
It's not just a small inconsistency, it feels fundamental.
A disconnect between the theory sold and the practice lived.
Why should I, as a student, trust this map to new languages if the map maker themselves hasn't used it to explore anything new in a decade?
Do they still believe in the journey they're selling? It makes you wonder.
Okay, let's bring this right back to the student's reality, because this is where it really matters for you, the listener.
Where the rubber meets the road.
What's the #1 reason people give, including maybe the creators themselves, for not learning new languages anymore?
I'm too busy now.
Always. And hey, we get it. Life is incredibly busy. Family, business, unexpected stuff. It takes up so much time and energy.
For sure. No one's denying the pressures of modern life. Time is precious. Managing it is tough for everyone.
But, and this is the key thing, everyone is busy.
That's the universal truth, isn't it?
The guru, the teacher, the entrepreneur, and you, the student trying to learn, we're all juggling.
The challenge of finding time isn't unique to successful polyglots. It's the shared human condition now.
And those exact constraints, lack of time, endless demands, that's the reality of the students they're selling to?
It's not some special burden they face now they're successful. It's the baseline for most language learners.
Exactly. Think about the parallels. You, the student, you have family too, right? Kids, parents, partners.
Demanding jobs that take up most of your day.
Lack of free time. Trying to squeeze in learning, maybe 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there.
During a commute, lunch break, late at night.
It completely levels the playing field. The struggle for time and motivation isn't unique to the creators. It's universal.
Which leads to a really critical point about credibility. If the person who created the method, who has all the tools, the knowledge, the motivation of their business, if they can't manage to add even 1 or 2 languages in 10 years, then what are we really selling here?
What does it say about the method's power for the average person?
Seriously, if the master builder with the blueprints and fancy tools can't add a few more bricks using their own system,
What are they asking me, the amateur with the trowel and limited time to build?
and how can we expect you, the listener, juggling everything, trying to learn in maybe 20 minutes a day?
How can you be expected to get these amazing results if the person selling the method isn't showing any ongoing progress themselves?
It makes you question the practicality, the effectiveness, maybe even the honesty of the whole pitch.
It's not just about whether the method can work under ideal conditions, but whether it works in the reality of a busy life.
And whether the claims are truly sincere. It pushes learners to look beyond the promises to the sustained personal application by the proponents.
It's about trust, ultimately.
Yes. Expertise, demonstration, and trust.
Okay, so wrapping this up, let's be really clear about why we did this deep dive.
Yeah, the intention is important.
This isn't about being envious of success. It's not ego. It's not trying to tear anyone down.
No.
It comes from really wanting to understand the language learning landscape
Yeah.
and what it means to be on that path authentically.
It boils down to authenticity, doesn't it? Real language learning isn't just a performance for an audience.
Right. It's a genuine personal engagement with a new way of thinking, communicating, a new culture.
An internal journey as much as an external show of skill.
And when we think about the true polyglot journey,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Well, the true lifelong learner doesn't need to be a constant spectacle.
No. They don't have to be all over social media on every stage performing all the time. That's not the point.
Many incredibly accomplished language learners are quite private, doing it for the love of it.
That's a key point. Authenticity doesn't require constant public fanfare.
Fulfillment can come from the quiet process itself, expanding your own world.
However, and this is the crucial other side of the coin, a true polyglot, especially one teaching others, acting as a guide, they shouldn't just freeze their own journey while selling shortcuts to everyone else.
Right. The journey needs to stay active, even if it's not headline news every day.
Even if it's not daily YouTube videos, there should be some sign of ongoing growth, continued engagement, that passion for discovery still burning.
Because selling the map implies you're still familiar with the territory, doesn't it?
Exactly. You're still walking it, or at least know its current state.
If the guide's personal journey seems frozen, the map they're selling feels outdated. Or maybe even misleading for new explorers.
Because fundamentally, and this is the truth we want to leave you with real language learning, isn't just a business.
Not just a product to be sold quickly.
It's a lifelong path, a journey, continuous discovery, learning, humility, sometimes surprising yourself.
It's an ongoing commitment to growth, curiosity. It goes way beyond just hitting a certain level for show.
It evolves as you evolve.
Yeah.
New interests pop up, new cultures call to you.
The learning itself changes you, makes your world bigger. It's a commitment to a richer life, not just a project with an end date.
So here's the final thought, the provocative question for you, the listener, to take away.
Okay.
Before you jump on the next trending course, before you spend your time and money on a method promising the moon,
Pause for a second.
and ask yourself, is the creator still actually walking the path themselves? Are they still actively learning, exploring languages?
Or are they just selling the map? A map they folded up and put away years ago.
That question encourages critical thinking, doesn't it? Looking past the shiny marketing.
Evaluating the consistency, the coherence between the promise and the personal practice. It's about making informed choices.
Seeking genuine guidance in this amazing world of language learning.
Well said.
And that wraps up this deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to seek the truth, ask the tough questions, and unpack the linguistic journey.
We want to cut through the noise, reject the magic formulas and false shortcuts.
And help you navigate things with clarity, realism, and a love for the journey itself.
We're focused on the possible paths, the sustainable ways, for those of you who truly love languages for the long haul.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep asking those important questions.